What is up, good people? Jungle Link here. Hope you're doing well. I want to open this video with some words of wisdom from my buddy Rob Hart, who says, I can tell you, bear markets get worse. They're emotionally draining, and sometimes you feel like giving up. But every bear market ends, and then comes green candles. Big green candles. He hit the nail on the head there. We don't know when this will end and when we enter the next bull run, but we know it will happen. Use this time wisely. Build out your portfolio and just get ready for the fun that's ahead of us. No one knows exactly when. Looking back, it'll be so clear. Of course, this is when the market would take off. We just don't know while we're living through the bear market. We just know there is another side to this. So enjoy the festivities in the bargain, basement prices here and acquire value for the future. Don't try to rush things. I see so many people predicting maybe it's tomorrow or next month. Who knows? We just know our day will come, so use this time wisely. I thought this was a great post about the current, AMM amendment, where they're discussing, analyzing the amendment, and Crypto Arsenal says the average length in time for an amendment to be enabled is around 130 days. So far with AMMs, we're at 46 days. What is everyone so freaked out about? They're going to take their time to make sure this one gets right. Weezy1 says the following. After time and time again, we argue full fire and explain to the world Ripple is just one player. We preached and explained the decentralization of the ecosystem, and now we seem to preach that something is ready just because Ripple says so. And I've seen a lot of times people arguing, well, David says it's fine, Ripple says it's good, it must be, they don't make mistakes. Look, David's a genius. There's very few people in the world that can make something out of nothing like he has. Just dream up the future and boom, we have the XRP ledger. We're talking about 2012. We have a DEX and all sorts of crazy space age technology in that thing, way ahead of its time. Doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes. Doesn't mean that every bit of code he does is perfect. We saw with the NFT stuff where Ripple was trying to push that out because they wanted it and they wanted it now. And the independent devs found a very serious error in that code that could have caused a lot of problems. Then they go back and fix it. There's a reason why this is set up the way it is. And guess what? David was part of the architect of that, about how the validators work and the voting processes. So if you believe David knows what he's doing, well, by not giving Ripple sole power to just push out updates, that's part of David's design, and it's a good design. And these developers are going to ensure that when this thing goes live, it's safe. We look at what's going on right now with the Lightning Network. Those are some of the best developers in the world. The most valuable chain in the world in Bitcoin. They've been around the longest. And lo and behold, there's an issue with Lightning that makes it unsafe. And now they got to try to go back and figure out how to fix this. And do they have to go and mess around with Bitcoin Core? Or can they fix it, on the Lightning Network itself? And everyone's running around trying to fix a problem that got by a lot of really smart people. So there's nothing wrong with taking your time. It doesn't make, Wind or Daniel bad people or the elephant. They just want to make sure once this thing rolls out, we know what we're dealing with. And, again, maybe Ripple's right. Maybe it's ready. But these validators and these developers are not going to okay it until they see the actual stats. And that's a good thing. None of us want the XRP ledger to go down. We laugh all the time at Solana because it's always crashing and things like this. So this is by design, this process. It usually takes some time. And I would still guess the day comes when we see AMMs and they'll get enabled. And even from there, it's not like this big deal. There's a building to that and starting to get these markets up and liquid and people putting value up. And it takes time, but that's okay. That's why we go through this long process to make sure we are ready. And that's just step one. Then you got to build it out and onboard people and all of that. We're going to get there. Just stay patient. And don't get too mad at these people that are running independent validators. They're just trying to keep everyone safe. Your, value safe, my value safe, Ripple's value safe. It's designed like this for a reason. We see Ripple's on a winning streak, but the game isn't yet won. So we know the SEC is likely to go to an appeal if they don't settle things out. And I just want to circle back to this idea about Brad and Chris settling at this point in time where they didn't settle. The SEC dropped the case. People are irritated about that. I'll tell you this. when I have Brad and Chris sitting down with the Ripple board, I don't want these guys thinking about their personal value, their personal net worth. I don't want that influencing anything they're doing, any decisions they're making. I want Ripple to do what's best for crypto and for their company, and I don't want anything hanging over these executives. That's why, originally Jay Clayton threw them in this case to throw them off balance, to mess with their minds, to make them think about their own pocketbook and not the situation at hand here. We don't want that. Now, luckily, they've been able to navigate well and be aggressive and really win this court case. But now that you pull that risk out of the equation, Ripple can be even more aggressive here. And Brad and Chris don't even have to think about themselves. They can just focus on Ripple and the broader crypto market. And I think that's a big thing. All right, this is the last one we have here. Again, we see Alkaline XRP City is really going, I see a lot of people going after Daniel. One of the best developers out there, runs a validator, always taking the time to explain stuff to the community. I'm not sure why he is like the person everyone wants to attack, but, he's saying, hey, Joel Katz says this thing's good to go. Like, who are you to question that? Well, again, part of Joel Katz's design is giving people like Daniel a vote and a voice, and that is part of the overall system and how things work. So I don't think we need to get mad at these people that are trying to do good work and trying to ensure that once something rolls out, it's ready to go. And just because David says, something's ready, doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes. Everyone does, even geniuses like himself. And, these various developers are great at what they do, which is going through code, making sure it's ready. David's the big vision. What does the future need? Doesn't mean he's going to get in the little myopic details of every little, change here. So this is important. We have this robust and decentralized community. Don't get too mad at these people. They're doing good work on our behalf and on their behalf because they want to run big companies and build out infrastructure. They're not doing it just to be nice. And that's what's great. We're intertwined with them because for their businesses to be successful, XRP Ledger has to be great. If our XRP is going to become valuable, we need a functioning system here. We are intertwined in that manner. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Inc.